It isn't often that I get a knife this nice on my table. I bought this knife for my friend for his birthday, and I figured I'd do a review on it before I gave it to him. This is a beautiful blade. It's a cold steel medium Espada. It sports a 3.5-inch blade, and look at that belly on the blade. It just starts with a curve and goes all the way up. I guess I'll talk about the blade first. Well, as you can see, the belly on it is very nice, and it has a wonderful reflection in it. The whole knife, except for the polished G10, has a very reflective finish. So I think that just, one, it adds to like the collectability and just craftsmanship of the blade, but also it's more of an intimidation factor. Because if you actually had to go up against a knife that's gleaming in the light like that, the intimidation would be pretty overwhelming to look at a knife with this type of point as well. And this point is extremely sharp, and I know that by experience because I cut myself. But going on, it's made in Taiwan. Most cold steel stuff is made in Taiwan, and even though that is made in Taiwan, it's still a rather expensive blade, but I think it's worth it. It is a beautiful blade. It comes absolutely razor sharp. It just slices very nicely. Probably the sharpest knife I've ever had in my collection so far. Let's talk about, I guess, the handle. The handle is made out of this polished G10 scales, as well as 6160 aircraft aluminum, and it's polished, so it gives off a really nice reflection. The one bad thing I could say about that is it gets fingerprints on it really fast. That's why I'm wearing gloves. But so the whole blade actually gets very dirty very fast. But if you keep it clean, it looks absolutely beautiful. I love the blade shape. It kind of reminds me, the whole thing kind of reminds me of a scimitar, and the grip on it is incredible, especially for the tactical use, because you have this deep finger choil right here that really locks in your hand. There's no jimping on the top that, hey, I don't mind that. You push, it really locks in well, and you can have different types of grips on it, because you can also hold back as more of like a stabbing, piercing type grip. I also really like the back. Not only does it look nice, but I think it can function very well as maybe a glass breaker and a non-lethal impact device. The clip is relatively nice. It does ride kind of high, but that just gives you a lot of purchase because you can automatically get your pinky and pull it up and have it there. Deployment, readily fast, but I have smaller hands and it's kind of hard for me, and I've been having to practice a little bit before giving it away. The blade centering, spot on, right there in the middle, you know, but I wouldn't expect anything less out of a blade at this price. Let's see. I could go over a few more specifications. That's what I forgot to mention. The blade is made out of AUS 8 stainless steel, and it really comes sharp. I don't have much experience with AUS 8, and this is the first blade I ever had with AUS 8, but from what I can tell, it is nice. One thing I will say is after handling it a little bit, it did start to rust, and they came off very readily, but I would keep an oil on the blade because it did start to show small rust spots, which was very saddening. Overall quality, I think, is amazing. I don't have any problems with it. Oh, that's what I needed. The weight of the blade is about 5.4 ounces, and I think for the reasons and roles that I have this thought out to be in, as more of like, well, one, it's just a beautiful collector's piece. Just the way it shines and everything is just beautiful. But I think also it would work not really for a tactical self-defense, but more of like a everyday self-defense kind of blade. Because I think the biggest thing about it is it has an intimidation factor to it, because how much it shines and gleams, and just the shape of the blade just looks nasty. So I wouldn't really put it in the whole. I would probably go with the G10 version, the cheaper version of the knife, if I was going to employ it in a tactical way, because it doesn't shine and glint. Even though I guess you could say that, you know, maybe you could flag down a helicopter with that. Definitely shines enough. I think the overall value of the knife is, you know, I don't know. I think it's definitely worth the money that you pay for it, but I would probably go for other options. Like I said, I just got this for my friend because I knew he's not much of a knife person, but I knew he'd like it. Because I think I think anybody would like how nice this blade looks, even if they're not a knife person. So I think it's a great gift option, and definitely a great collector's. And also, I think it would work just fine in the self-defense role because of how you can grip it. Very nice grip. Reverse grip works. And another thing is, if I was going to be carrying it every day, I really want a non-lethal impact slash window breaker or glass breaker, just in case any emergency had to happen. So I think this would definitely perform adequately in the glass breaking situation. Let's see. The pros and cons. I think the biggest pro it has is just how beautiful the blade is and how nice it's made. A few cons I would have to say is because of how shiny it is. It does hold fingerprints very easily. And down here, the G10 scales are not completely flush with the blade, which frankly kind of saddened me, especially for the price of this blade. Oh, the price is around $150. You can get it cheaper, you can get it, but I'm going to ballpark it around $150. That's basically what I paid for it, and everywhere else I looked I was about the same price. So I'd say a little more, a little less, but around $150, which for a 3.5-inch blade I don't think is a terrible deal, especially for the quality and beauty of this knife. Well, let's see. I think overall I love the knife. I think it's just beautiful. Just gorgeous blade. And I'm glad I got this from my friend. I'm sure he'll be too. And let's see, is there anything else I can say about it? I guess I can give you one last overlook at the blade. Starting up here at the handle. Has the nice Cold Steel logo on the pocket clip. Moving down a bit, that wonderful shining aluminum top right here, which has a great finger choil for great grip on the knife. And that's another thing I like about the blade, is it has a wonderful grip, a full-size grip for a 3.5-inch blade. And that should really help in, you know, the tactical or self-defense situation. Not per se tactical, sorry. And that just look at the blade. Look at the blade a little bit longer. Just look at that belly on it. And that would just slash anything. And if you want to see a durability test, you can always go on Cold Steel's website and watch their durability test and what they do with the knife. That tip is very strong. If you can kind of see, at the tip, it does kind of taper out, and then it does widen again back at the tip. It re-widens at the tip, if I can get that to focus. Sorry. And it is an incredible tip. And I stabbed myself. Not going to say how, and I'm not going to say it was that bad, but yeah, it barely touched me, and it definitely cut pretty deep. I think it's a great blade overall. I think it's definitely worth the price if you're willing to pay that much. I guess it's still in the eye of the beholder on if it's really worth it. But can't say I'm not happy with the purchase. And I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you are planning to get this blade or looking into it, it really is a phenomenal blade.